Yeah, thank you very much indeed. Now, it's taken over 4 decades, but the Prime Minister has ordered an inquiry into the tainted blood scandal, where thousands of people from 1970 to 1991, mostly being treated for haemophilia, were infected with hepatitis C and HIV through contaminated blood products. At least 2,400 people died, among them Stephen and Barbara Palmer. Their daughter Lauren was 9 years old when they passed away, 8 days apart. And Lauren joins me in the studio now. Lauren, thanks very much indeed for coming on the programme.
You're welcome.
What do you remember about those times when you were 9 years old?
Oh, it's just, well, it all happened very, very quickly. Obviously, I was very young, so I don't remember an awful lot, but it just was just tragic. Like, my parents died quickly after we were told that they were very, very ill. And it just completely blew our family apart, having to cope and live with it afterwards.
Because your dad got, well, hepatitis C from this contaminated blood.
HIV.
And also HIV.
Yeah.
A double hit of those horrendous conditions, and then unwittingly passed it on to your mum.
Yes.
And she died 8 days after your dad. I mean, were you aware of what was happening at that time? Were they shielding you from what was going on?
Very much so, yeah. I mean, we wouldn't have really have known that there was anything wrong. Obviously, there was a little bit of stress on the family with them trying to sort of sort out what's going to happen with us, but as the children, and it caused quite a lot of conflict between the families, but as it would, obviously. But other than that, we weren't really aware until at the point that we were told, and then, like I said, before we knew it, Mum was taken to hospital, and yeah, they died very, very quickly.
And after that, you went to live with your aunt, didn't you? And moved away, actually, which in a way was a blessing, because you didn't have to answer questions or deal with what was going on. But at the same time, your life was just turned up completely upside down.
Completely, yeah. And we obviously weren't able to breathe a word of HIV because it was so massively stigmatised at the time. So as a child, couldn't even tell anyone. So we all, as a whole family,
they were telling you that, were they, Lauren, at the time?
Oh, yeah,
I mean, you were a small child or just approaching your teenager, and yet you're being told your parents have died, you've been moved away from them, but don't say anything to anybody about what's going on.
Obviously didn't want to be outcasted as a family anywhere, so like, honestly it was a scary time, like, especially surrounding around HIV.
Could you understand why they were telling you not to speak about it? Did you get the...
Not really, but I definitely knew that I shouldn't speak about it. It was, so we didn't. And if you look back then, and just even the government campaigns around HIV, they were terrifying. So, yeah, we didn't want to be outcasted by anyone or have that extra thing to deal with.
And I guess you grew up pretty quickly, did you, through your teenage years?
Yes, yeah, I did.
Your aunt was campaigning, wasn't she? She sort of took up the mantle for the thing.
Which I wasn't really aware of at the time, but since obviously this has all come out, she's shown me all of her efforts that she's letters to MPs, letters to Princess Diana, even Phil Collins. He had a friend that was affected by it, so there was constant sort of avenues that they tried to approach, but it all fell on deaf ears.
And it was just, you were just completely stonewalled, weren't you? You just couldn't break through at all. Were you getting anything back from governments, from Department of Health?
Obviously, I wasn't fighting at that time, but nothing really went anywhere. It was always just shunned and very much cast aside by government, as it has until this day. And even with the other day when they had the emergency debate, we still weren't sure whether it would still be passed. We thought they really need to do the right thing, but it was 50-50. We were on tenterhooks, like we didn't know. Yeah. We weren't confident that it would be passed, but when it did.
I know. I've seen your delight in just that moment when things have just moved on. But through that campaigning, I mean, it wasn't in the public eye, was it? It took panorama, didn't it? As very often happens with investigative TV programmes or newspapers, to actually bring this out and make something done.
In fact, TV programme hadn't come out, I still wouldn't be doing anything to this day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's definitely highlighted, and I think it's left a lot of people, one, shocked that this has happened, and two, again, raising the awareness that actually did happen, because there's a lot of people from my generation and even younger that have no idea that this took place. It's only really older generations that do vaguely remember.
And 2,400 people died, but a lot more, thousands more, were left living with the legacy, living through this.
Yeah, so many people have been affected by this. So many people, and I don't think people really understand the huge knock-on effect that it's had with families. It's devastatingly destroyed families where they've had to try and pick up the pieces and live and cope with this. It's not just that they've lost loved ones, it's a rippling effect of how to just try and live.
Now, the Prime Minister announced this inquiry, and as we've seen, I think you just keep reliving that delight, you know. But how much sort of communication have you got with the others in the campaign? Do you all keep in touch? Are you all on Facebook and sort of following what's going on?
So there's organised groups, which are great, massive support. So we are, whenever anyone's sort of done anything, we'll post it and talk amongst ourselves, and it's a real sense of community. There's a few different campaign groups, but
what do you want out of this, Lauren? What would be a success at the end of all this? Do you want prosecutions? Do you want justice? Do you want
just getting the answers as to why this massive mistake even happened in the first place? It's honestly not about the money. It's the fact that we were left to be silent on this for so many years and not given the right to have the answers and the inquiry to go through. It's really just about closure and getting
how
what
this
we deserve.
contaminated blood, some of it came from apparently prisoners in America who'd sold their blood, and this then came over here. It just doesn't bear thinking about.
Yeah, and the fact that there's obviously evidence coming to light now that it was known that these products were infected and they still continued to use them. So that's where we really want to know why.
Life's a bit different now.
It is, yes.
Well, listen, the very, very best of luck with the future.
Thank you.
We'll watch, because that campaign doesn't stop here, does it?
No, this is just the beginning.
It's a delight to have you in the programme.
Thank you. You're more than welcome.
Thank you.